and City of Light in the mid-1950s. Buffalo Television had signed on less than a decade earlier, and film cameras were recording life as it unfolded in the bustling Queen City. Who were we back then? What were our dreams and hopes for the future, and the problems we had to overcome at the time? And what lessons can we learn from the past? Many of the answers lie inside these boxes, containing reels and reels of news film that have yet to be rediscovered. But on January 17, 2009, the Buffalo Broadcasters Association began the long journey back in time to retrieve the moving images that help define our city and our region. This is really the beginning of discovery for us. You've entered a giant time capsule for all intents and purposes. Making sense out of this giant time capsule means documenting a warehouse full of broadcast memorabilia dating back to the earliest days of television, as well as every single reel of news film dating back to the 1960s and 70s.
Library number 1201.
The goal is to catalog the contents and make it all available in a digital, computer-friendly format. Some who are volunteering their time were the ones who rescued Buffalo's moving image history from the dumpster when nobody else had the space or desire to store boxes filled with thousands of reels of film.
So thank God that they did. Thank God they were able to. Thank God we got notified about it.
They stored it all in their basements and garages, and even in a warehouse sub-basement.
You know, we had to go through rat droppings in order to get to the film, and we moved it from there to there a couple of different times. But it was all with the hopes of a day like today, where we're going to be able to, you know, finally catalog it and hopefully make use of it.
Make use of it in a place accessible to everyone.
Create a museum where schools could come, people who were doing research, you know, in communications, you know, would have an opportunity to really get, you know, some original material.
Knowing the potential for history coming alive, Western New York colleges and universities have already expressed an interest in getting in on the ground floor.
I think there's an amazing opportunity here for many different disciplines to come together.
Not only is the news content still on the film, but the cultural content is there too. What do the cars look like? What do the people look like? What does Main Street downtown Buffalo look like with 200,000 or 300,000 people roaming around on a Saturday afternoon?
It has to be open and accessible to everybody. And when it's in that, you know, that box, you know, and available on the web in a certain way that we decide to help make that available, everybody has to have access to it.
It's a project aimed at preserving the rich history of Buffalo.
Professional archivists and museum and library specialists from around the country learned of Buffalo's efforts to bring back the news film at a national conference held in the Queen City.
Going back to constitute a history essentially at three major stations in what was and remains actually one of the most important media centers in the country of the evolution of television news.
When I heard about this project, I just about jumped out of my seat.
Dr. Ann Radice, who is spearheading a national initiative to preserve treasures like the Buffalo TV news film, happens to be a Buffalonian who believes in the project.
So this is a city that loves life. And when you love life, you reach out and you learn. You don't close it, you don't close down.
The Buffalo Broadcasters Association reached out with a 5K run, the first big fundraiser for the archive project. More than 200 people took part. We have a long way to go to reach the finish line, but we're on our way, and we welcome you to join us on the journey.